Gen X grew up on late-night warnings.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Scared, straight.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
And were inspired by movies that defined a generation.
I mean, we're all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I feel the need for speed.
We found our attitude in comedy.
I'm Gumby, damn it!
You see that sign?
No shirt, no shoes.
No dice!
Right. Learn it. Know it. Live it.
And our identity in pop culture.
I want my MTV!
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV!
What you talking about, Willis?
Keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
This is Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhide.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Yes, it does move pretty fast. So fast that we are on episode number 40.
40, catching up to us.
40, yes, yeah, exactly. 40. Bill Rowland here, Gary Dollar right there. You know the drill. This is Gen X Men. Welcome in. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. As always, hope you enjoyed the World Cup, the U.S. 2-0. They're moving on. They play as we are recording this. They will be playing tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Will you be staying up for it?
Absolutely not.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I mean, one, I don't even know how I can watch it because I do not have cable.
You can't get Fox?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
I have one over-the-air television station where I'm at, and then everything else is streaming, and I don't pay extra for Fox or any of that. So
I think
unless it's hiding somewhere for free.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is. I'm sure there are, those sites out there that
you
can find one, or just watch it. I'm sure you could probably stream it in Spanish or something. I don't know. That's got to be out there somewhere.
Get one of those global VPNs and act like I'm somewhere else.
Yeah, I see. Like when I'm scrolling through YouTube during the day, sometimes I see them with like the little live, Ecuador and whoever, and I'm like, you can actually watch it. So I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they give you those games for free. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, I mean, I figured it was all of them. I don't know. I may stay up. It's kind of late, so I mean,
and I've got to be on duty at 6 a.m. So staying up late to watch Pokey Ball, just not on my bingo card today.
No, I don't blame you, but it does bring up a good point.
Yes,
kind of from our topic for today, because if that game starts at 10, was that kind of the cutoff? We're going to talk about dating. Gen X dating back in the 80s, even into the early 90s, because you didn't have phones when we were in college and dating people, so it's still kind of the same. Of having the absolute terror that you might have in calling someone's house, especially in our case, if it was a female someone's house. So if you're calling your buddy, no one's stressing out about that. If I'm calling to talk to Rick or Scott or Seth or whoever, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're calling Sarah or Jennifer or Amy or I don't know what other common Gen X names are out there. You know what I'm talking about. If you're calling one of them, terrifying at times.
It could be, yes.
I mean,
I will gladly say that I generically had a good relationship with fathers of young women I dated at the time, because that was drilled into me on my side of it from my mother, my father saying, hey, you're a gentleman, you're respectful, none of this rolling up in there with, the black muscle shirt and going, what's up? She ready? None of that was happening. I wasn't brought up that way.
Right.
But it was still kind of disconcerting because I remember my senior year of high school girlfriend had 3 younger sisters.
Oh.
Not entirely, like one was younger, one was a year behind, and the next one I think was either one, so it'd be 2 years or 3 years. So they're all in that 14, 17
So they're all in high school with you guys then?
Yes, the two of them. Yes.
One. So there's the three sisters are all in high school with you.
Yes.
At the same time. Oh, yeah,
but they went to a different high school, so I didn't have to see them during the day. But they were obviously well involved in what the older sister's life was like. AE, like you said, at school, because I'd hear complaints about, well, she did this and she did that, and annoyed my girlfriend. And then also when they got home, it was with that many people, it was never, well, let's go sit back here and talk, because inevitably one had to be around. And what are you guys doing? You guys going anywhere? Right. And I remember in my head going, and I'll admit it, the next sister in line, you're an attractive girl, go find your own person. Don't be here. You should be out.
Now, was there ever any of the thought of, if it didn't work out with the older sister? Well, I mean, she's only a year younger.
Yeah.
Cute. I mean, you're like, I'm already there.
I don't recall having those thoughts. I mean, it's just, I don't. It was good family. I don't think it would have worked out.
Well, no, not if you
didn't work out with your sister. But hey, what are you up to?
That would be weird.
I mean, I didn't have that kind of game.
What's that?
I said I didn't have that kind of game.
But you hear those stories all the time about, well, I was dating the one sister, didn't work out, but I ended up marrying the other sister. Like, those are not uncommon stories.
No, and then I know there's people I know, and my ex, stories from her family where the one brother died, and so the other brother stepped right in to take care of his wife, and they spent the next 50 years together, kind of thing. Yeah. So it exists. I don't know if it exists anymore, but
I mean, look, they didn't get married, but let's be honest, Hunter and Beau Biden, that's pretty much like they didn't get married, but that was a thing. I mean, that happened. We know it happened. So
I would have to think I would say, and people are going to hate me, I don't think Hunter had the best intentions when he wanted to step in and take care of his sister-in-law.
No, he wasn't looking for that at all. He probably doesn't even remember it, to be honest with you. But in any case, so going back to it again, this generation, and they're not watching this anyway, but our generation will remember. Again, you probably, because I can remember phone numbers from people in my neighborhood. I can remember phone numbers from girls that I would call and talk to all the time. I still remember those phone numbers.
Do you dial them at night, Bill, just to see who answers?
No. Because there's caller ID now.
So that's okay.
That was.
I mean, you can pull off the story of, oh, I thought this was so. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
But by the way, who is this?
I know. And all the numbers that I can remember now off the top of my head, they would no longer be attached to the people that they were attached to years ago. I know that from like the neighborhood, those people have all moved. The girls from school, their parents have all moved or aren't around anymore. Whatever it may be. So that would be really weird.
Oh, just that reminded me. Do you remember Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yeah, sure.
With what's his name? Anyway, he called his wife. Remember, so he's gone back in time, but he's still an adult, and he calls his wife, who's actually like 8 or 9.
Oh,
yes,
I didn't realize.
Right, and says something like, "You better not do," and it scared her. Then, and she ends up admitting, like in real time, I got this strange phone call one time, and it said, "I better not." I think it was, "I better not cheat on you" or something. And she had always lived with that phone call.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I saw that. I don't even think I saw the whole thing. I think I saw parts of it, but yeah, I can see that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So what?
But yeah. Call them, see what's going on. It makes for a great, we can put it on here live.
Sure. Why not? Well, I've actually thought, I think the college one would, the high school one would not.
Okay.
I've actually thought, we should call our exes sometime on the show just to see how they're doing.
Just to see. Absolutely.
Just to see. Prom, your first, your prom date, whatever it may be. Just to see, like, we're just like, hey, we're doing this show. We're talking about what it was like growing up Gen X. Do you remember prom? Do you remember home?
Right?
That's like, why not? My high school girlfriend would not.
Mm-hmm.
My college girlfriend. She
Yep.
would.
Yeah, or she would. Yeah.
Yeah, we still, not chat, but like something will come up. I'll get a text from her. I'll send her a text, whatever it may be. So, all of them happily married, which that's great. I'm happy for all of them. But yeah, I think my college girlfriend would.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend probably would not. And that's fine. It's not like we have a bad relationship. It's just it's just not a relationship anymore. Like,
correct.
We stayed cordial. I wouldn't say we stayed necessarily friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be the first. I'll admit that's from her. I would gladly be friends with. It's not me. I have no animosity towards anybody that I have ever dated and then broken up with. I wish nothing but the best for all of them, because it makes me an awful person to root for bad things to happen to people. So
correct. Yep. No, I
here's another question. Would you even know how to find any of your exes from back then?
The only way would be what everyone else does is you go on Facebook and search the name and see if they're out there. That would be it, because I really wouldn't know. Because here's my thing I was going to say. My history, good or bad, when we're done,
right?
That's it. Now, it doesn't mean if I saw you in the grocery store, I would be cordial. Hey, how you doing? Hope life's been great. But I've never had that ongoing, hey, well, you can do it easier now than we could back then. But the follow-up, like, hey, how's life? How's it going? I've just, once the chapter's closed, it's closed. So
that's understandable. Now, again, I think part of it is the older that you got, it was easier to stay in touch because you had Facebook, you had their phone numbers, even if they moved from, condo to townhouse to whatever, you still had their phone, because their cell phone number goes with them. It's not like if somebody moved, well, now they have a whole new landline. And if you didn't get that landline number, you had no way of getting in touch with them. Yeah. That was the other thing. If you even just had a friend that suddenly moved, even, a state away or whatever it was, if you didn't get their landline number, like when they moved, like seriously,
you'd wait for the letter.
You would never know. You'd never have any idea what ever happened. I think about that all the time. I had a really good friend in elementary school. His name was Ricky. He moved when we were like in second or third grade, like to another state. I've never spoken to Ricky again. I think about that all the time because I'm like, I wonder whatever happened to that dude. He's not on LinkedIn, at least that I can tell or find. So I'm like, probably the dude's dead. And that's a terrible thing. It's a terrible way to think about it, but that could be the reality of it. It's really weird. Yeah. So when you were calling, like when do you remember like the first times that you were calling to, like, not even necessarily flirt, but just call because, hey,
that was what we did.
Sarah, Jenny, whoever it was, you're like, she's kind of cool. I sit with her in science class, or maybe it was in 5th, 6th grade. I don't know. Whenever it was, you're like, I think I'll call and talk to her for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. It was that zone between like 7th grade until you got a car. And because I lived in the middle of nowhere, so there wasn't closeness. Like, there were some people that I went to school with that lived 40 miles away at the other end of the county. So you weren't just dropping in, again, not until you had a car. So it would be about the phone and, usually in the afternoon. But again, from my side of it, strict rules, you're not calling you're either on the phone by 8, but you're not calling anyone's house after 8.
Okay.
And that was the hard and fast rule, because my parents said you have to respect that family.
Okay, see, that's kind of a long way to get to. The game is starting at 10 tonight. What was too late to call somebody?
Yeah.
When you were calling and talking. And I don't mean like once you got to college and they were in the dorm room.
We were 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. If you could
drop by.
Yeah, if you weren't too drunk to dial the numbers, it was fine. It didn't matter. But yeah, what was that your cut? Now, did that cut off of 8 o'clock carry into high school? Or were you like,
absolutely.
Really?
I mean,
okay.
So I didn't get my license till 11th grade because I was at the back end of my class.
Right.
So it had kind of started dying out.
Yeah, mine was a summer between my sophomore and junior years because I'm only like 4 months ahead of you. So yeah.
So all the phone things started dying out, about 10th grade.
Okay.
Because people were getting cars and we were in high school, because high school is 8 through 12. That's the other caveat to this.
All right.
So about 10th grade, I remember is when everything started with the, hey, we're going to go hang out. You want to ride with whoever, right?
Right.
The number of people with cars actually, rose through 10th grade. There was the few, and then there's a few more, and usually you get a ride with someone. So the phone stuff stopped about, I want to say 8th and 9th grade for me.
Okay.
Because, again, it was just, that's when it started to be the hangout. Even hanging out after school at high school because of activities and what have you, or we go down to the boat launch, or this happens. So the phone thing was that core time, probably 7th grade is what I remember, which was the end of elementary for us because it was K through 7, till about 9th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now, let me ask you, because ours was K through 6, and then 7, 8, and then 9 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember even being like, as a junior and senior, not that it was looked down upon, but it was kind of like, why are you hanging out with the freshman girl? Like, if you were a senior, like, why are you know what I mean? Like, you could, but it was a little, whatever. But I can't imagine if there were like 8th graders running around and you were a senior. Like, that would be really weird.
Yeah, 8th graders were called clodhoppers. And there was a definitive of they're still young. Like, they just
12.
Yeah, they're because I think it was 12 when I started high school, 8th grade. They were just kind of on their own, right? And then 9 through 12 was more the traditional, like, hey, you can hang out because you guys are 9th grade. Because again, remember, one county, one high school, less than 500 kids, people that you'd gone to church with, your parents knew, so everything was a little bit more consolidated and social because, again, being in the middle of nowhere, everyone kind of knew everybody. Heck, half my class was related to each other because of, that's so-and-so's cousin who's also that cousin. And, the big families of our parents' age, they were one of 8 kids, and then they had 5. And
did you, with that, when you called, did you rehearse before you called on how you were going to talk to the parents?
No. I was just in the mindset. Hi, is Michelle there? Hi is, and you could kind of hear who's calling? This is Gary. It just, what that, again, my parents did a lot for me. God bless them. Right. Don't have to do anything simple. Who you're calling for, who you're asked for, and sit and wait. And then inevitable, you'd hear it's so it's on the phone. And you'd hear right on the other end.
Right.
Tell him I'm busy. Or I'll call him back. She's not available right now. Can she call you back?
Right.
Oh, yes, she may. Thank you.
You were in the South, so you probably, there's a little bit of
the South. I was like 100 miles from you.
Well, but that's a big difference. Trust me, there was a big difference between Washington, D.C., and you go 100 miles south to the Richmond area. That's, in some cases, light years difference. So it was a compliment that you guys were going to be that polite. You weren't necessarily as polite. But yes, my dad, God bless him, I never got to talk from my dad or anything like that. As I've said before, he gave me, I guess it would be 2 pieces of advice. The one is he would always say, his whole thing was change the tire, move on. If you had a problem, it doesn't do you any good. Like he said, look, you get a flat tire. It's not going to do you any good to be on the side of the road and bitch and complain because you hit a pothole and why didn't they fill the pothole and whatever it is, or you picked up a nail. By the time you did all that complaining,
you could have changed the tire
and moved on. So that was one of the things. And he goes, that goes for pretty much almost any issue you have in life. Change the tire, move on. Fair. The other one he said,
T-shirts are coming.
What's that?
T-shirts are coming.
T-shirt,
Change the hashtag. Change the tire.
Yeah, seriously, we should.
You could do a TED talk.
Just Gen X men on the front and on the back. Change the tire, move on. The other one that he and I still do it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't like, he didn't buy my mom flowers. He didn't bring her chocolate. He wasn't a romantic guy on any level, at least not that I ever saw. Maybe when he was, dating my mom, he did all this stuff, but I don't remember it as a kid. Stuff. But he told me the first time that I ever went on a date, and I was 14, so he was driving me on this date. Yeah. Tell me how fun that was. We got in the car and we're driving there. He goes, look, here's the deal. He's like, you have to open the door every single time. He goes, I don't mean when we get to her house and you open the door for her. He goes, I mean, I drop you off at the mall for the movie. You open the door to the mall for her. If you're, he's like, you always open the door. No, he goes, I don't care what door it is. You open the door. He goes, you hold it. And he said, let her walk through it. And he goes, same thing with the car. You open the door. She gets in the car. You shut the car. And I still, to this day, doesn't matter. Carrie and I will be going somewhere. I will still, even though you could just go boop, boop. I walk around, I open the car door, I shut the car door. I have done that in every single relationship, every single date that I've ever been on in my life.
Good for you. I was taught the same thing.
Very good.
So it was always open doors and head on a swivel to make sure everything's safe, et cetera. Now, in the current relationship as older male, I still open the door, but there are times where it's like, boop, boop. You good over there? Okay, good. We're getting, because we're in a hurry.
Right.
So I have not exactly 100% anymore, but Susan said that's one thing she always remarked about. I always, I'm walking a little bit first. I'm checking things. I'm opening doors. The protector is what she says.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Same thing if we go on our little walk here. We try to do mile and a half, 2 miles, whatever. I'm always on the street. She's always
always on the street side.
Always street side. And again, I don't know where I picked that up from. I mean, again, my dad didn't sit there and tell me, "Oh, you should do this. You should do this." So, were there movies? Were there TV shows that we picked this up from? Where do we pick this up from?
That one I don't know because we didn't have street, so I know I wasn't taught that either. Okay. But it just seemed to make sense later on. When I made it to Fairfax in Northern Virginia. Yeah. That in those moments, I'm on the street side. I don't know, maybe there was too many videos of motorcycle bandits stealing purses, and we were subconsciously preparing for that.
Maybe.
Or do kung fu on them right on the sidewalk.
Did you ever hang up if Dad answered the phone? Was there anybody that you had that you're like, oh, Dad does not like me? And this is, again, pre-caller ID. They'd have no idea that it was you. You could just hang up and nobody would know.
Never had that moment. But I do recall a couple times because you weren't necessarily always having hour-long conversations. It'd be call and talk to him for 20 minutes. Yeah, right? And hang up. Right. I'll call you back, right? There was always, I'll call you back. And so you would hear mother and father, I can translate it now. Oh, it's you again. Definitely had that a couple times. The other big thing for us, and I don't know if you had this problem, the flip side.
Yep.
No call waiting, no caller ID.
Not yet, right?
My father traveled usually Monday through Thursday, came home Fridays.
Okay.
So he was always trying to call 6, 7 o'clock.
Right.
To say, I'm in New Bern, North Carolina, and talk to my mother.
Right.
And couldn't get through because I was on the phone.
And that busy signal. That kids don't know about these days. Zero.
Yes, that would send him into a fury. And it's a good thing a lot of times he was, a couple hundred miles away. But, my mother would say, your father's not happy. Okay. Because he's been trying to call for an hour. And I'd be like,
go,
son, go out and have something to eat and enjoy himself. What are you calling home?
You go, look, man, I'm just trying to get my action on. You guys can understand that I'm just doing what I do.
Yeah.
Now, we had the same thing because my dad worked basically a variety of shifts.
Okay.
Well, he worked nights. He was on call, basically. He worked for the railroad for 30 plus years, and they would do it in shifts. So they would have like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then 4 p.m. to midnight would come in, and then midnight to 8 a.m. If he were at home.
And it moved.
What's that?
And it moved, right? Because they had to follow. They cycled through.
Yeah, he was just on call. So depending on how many, cargo trains were coming in, boxcar trains were coming in that day, they would figure out how many brakemen they would need on that shift. Well, if he was going to have to work, say, 4 to midnight, they were going to call him between 2 and 2:30. You could not be on the phone between 2 and 2:30. If he was going to go in from midnight to 8 a.m., you couldn't be on the phone from 10 p.m. to 10:30, which, again, when you're in 7th and 8th grade, not a problem. You get to high school, and all of a sudden you're trying to explain to this girl that you've been hitting on since 9:15 that you have to get off the phone at 10 because they may be calling for your father to go to work. Now, we did have call waiting by that point, but my dad he would always just be like, click. As soon as he was done, he wouldn't hand it back the phone to me. And then it would ring, and then you'd be like, it's Sarah, I got to pick up the phone, like that kind of thing. And then if he's working 8 a.m. to 4, you couldn't be on the phone from 6 to 6:30, but nobody, 6 to 6:30 in the morning, nobody's on the phone between 6 and 6:30. I'm not calling at 6 a.m. So it's just at 2 to 2:30, especially in the summer, if you were off, or the 10 to 10:30 at night, that you had to be like, yeah, I can't be on the phone. But we talked about it last week. I had, and this is when I got into 8th or 9th grade. I had an actual list, and I swear I wish I still had that thing because it would be gold. I had a list when I was in, I guess, my freshman year, maybe 8th grade. It was 7th or 8th grade. I don't know if you remember at my parents' house, I lived in the basement.
In the basement. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't move down there until I was in the 7th grade. So I was upstairs in I'm not kidding, like an 8x10 room. It was enough to have a single bed and nothing else. I mean, it was a literal cracker box of a room.
What did you keep stuff up there after you moved downstairs? Because some reason I vaguely remember. Well, no, you said in high school.
Yeah, it was 7th, 8th grade.
I remember you were in the basement, but I also remember going into a room upstairs.
Yeah, you probably did.
Okay.
There's probably stuff in the closet or whatever, because they turned it into the quote unquote guest bedroom. Basically, that guest bedroom was just when my grandmother came to visit, she slept in there because we didn't have any other guests that were coming to the house. So that was the guest bedroom, whatever. But anyway, so I can remember when I moved downstairs, and at this point, I had my own phone. I don't know how long it took for you to get your own phone in your room. But my parents were nice enough because we used to just have the one phone. And it was green, avocado green.
Ooh.
It had a big, long, giant cord that inevitably would get stretched out because you would go. Our phone
down
was
the hallway.
Our phone was right between the dining room and the kitchen. And then just off of that was my parents' bedroom. So I could go into my parents' bedroom and sit on their bed, and the cord would reach that far away. So at least I could be not in the living room and kitchen. We had a very, very, very small house. So, one level and then a basement. That was it. So everybody, if you sat there in the kitchen, everybody's going to hear your conversation.
Yeah.
When I moved downstairs, I had my own phone down there. I think one of those little flip phone things.
Ooh.
Remember those that just opened up, and then you could, to hang up, you shut them rather than put them on a cradle. Yeah, I had one of those. Awesome. Okay. And right next to my phone, I had made a list. It was my phone call excuse list.
Gotta go.
Literally, if I got a call from somebody, and it didn't matter if it was a guy, a girl, whatever, and I just didn't want to talk to them, maybe I'd had a fight with them, or again, I'm sure I called some girls that they're like, I don't want to talk to Bill. I don't like him. He's annoying. Fine, fair. Yep. I had the same thing. There are certain girls in my class that I didn't necessarily want to talk to all the time, but they would call. I would keep a list of excuses, and I literally would write down like initial and date, like, ST on, May 3rd or whatever. I had to unload the groceries for my mom, or, oh, my dad needs me to help him, wherever, like with the car. Like,
we're butchering a deer.
Yeah, well, that could have been, that's possible.
Right. I know, but that's what, how outlandish it could be.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be anything, or it'd be like, oh, the dog's barking. I got to go see what's going on with the dog, like whatever. And I would keep track because I realized that I had used the same excuse like 3 different times. Like 3 of the 4 times this girl had called, I'd used the same excuse to the thing that she said something to me the next day in school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's when I was like, oh, I'm playing a dangerous game here. Like I'm getting caught that I'm lying, and you don't want that to get out because you don't want everybody to think that, oh, Bill's a big liar. So I made this chart before Excel, before any kind. It was a legit like spreadsheet. Like I did rulered and lines.
Oh, you went that far with it.
Oh, you better believe it. And I would just write it off. And my mom found it one day, and she was livid when she found it. She's like, just tell them you don't want to talk. And I was like, but that's rude. I'm like, I don't want it to get out there.
The truth is rude, Bill.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't want it to get out there because then, like, what if she's friends with like one of the girls I do want to talk to? And this girl's like, well, he won't even talk to me. He won't even get on the phone with me. Then they're going to be like, oh, that's not very nice. He's not a very nice guy. So I just come up with different excuses. I kept it for maybe 6 to 8 months. And then it got to the point where I was just like, I'm not worried about these people. But for 6, 8 months, maybe almost a year, I had a whole chart of these are the excuses. Here's who I told them. That way I could keep track of everything. It was brilliant.
I can't talk right now. We're going to get my appendix removed here. Well, so I got to go.
You couldn't do that. You couldn't do the, hey, it's really not a good time. My grandmother just died. You couldn't do any of that stuff. It was like I'm in the middle of doing laundry. Like I'm folding laundry for my mom. So I got to go finish this or I'm going to get yelled at. So it's like, I'll call you back. And then you just don't call them back.
Yes.
That kind of thing. So,
I get that one.
you never though got worried about the dad answering the phone call?
No. I mean, and I don't say that. I don't recall because it was always be nice, be civil. And I understood the tone I was getting.
Okay.
Reserved. Because you talked about some girl that you knew and you were talking to her mother and dad and hung out for.
Yep.
I never had that, unfortunately. Okay. So I knew the tone of just a moment. Let me see if she's just the curt but civil. So I just knew like, okay, we'll wait and see. She's not available right now. Okay. Would you let her know that Gary called? Thank you. And so that was it. But no one I was intimidated by. Because I remember, no intimidation, but obviously the reserved respect because someone's father. And more than a couple times it was people we went to church with or people we knew in the community. So you had to kind of keep your nose clean, and especially in a small county school. I remember the big shocker was I ended up dating a couple times, nothing bigger, but it was found out because I dated a girl from the next county over.
Oh,
and it was found out because she was the cousin of someone that lived and I went to school with. And I mean, I got home like my mother knew within 36 hours.
Nice.
So I hear you're with this girl that is from Mechanicsville, Lee Davis. What?
That was the name of the high school? Boy, you couldn't get away with that.
Oh, yeah, Lee Davis, Mechanicsville, Virginia. Yeah.
Have they changed that yet?
They were the Rebels.
Have they changed?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that school does no longer exist.
No, they changed. I can't remember what they changed it to, 10, 15 years ago. But it was forever Lee Davis Rebels. Yep. And it was orange and blue and Confederate flags, the whole 9 yards.
Surprised.
So
you're like, we were only 100 miles from you. Yeah, you were only 100 miles from
but my mother knew because the cousin told her mom like, hey, Gary's into Paula, and then again, I don't think it was let me call his mother. It was just, oh, by the way, I hear Gary's into her cousin, and so my mother knows, and my mother presents it to me, and I'm like, first I'm like, how do you know? Like, how do you know? Because I think this was 1 or 2 dates in. It wasn't anything spectacular. Right. Because, and when I say dates, I'm first night met at our high school football game. Right. And so the second time was going to her high school football game.
Right.
So not like, hey, I'm going out, we're going to the movies, blah, blah, blah. It was just, yeah, I'll be back. And then my mother knows. But never really intimidated. I was more intimidated by my parents because I grew up in a pretty strict household, and there were rules. You will do this. Rule number 1, don't embarrass us.
Right.
That was drilled into me early on.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, and I was my first serious girlfriend, I guess. Well, maybe second. Was somebody that I went to church with. Mm-hmm. She was at a different high school, but we went to the same church. So of course you have that whole, there was that whole, well, they're not doing anything because we're all going to the same church. And quite honestly, they were right. We weren't. She had to be home. If we went out Friday and Saturday night, we could pick one night that she could be home by midnight. Mm-hmm. The other night she had to be home by 11. So you had to kind of like figure out like, okay, if we're going to go to the movies, well, we're going to have to go to a 7-something movie because if we go to a 9 o'clock movie, you're not going to
never make it
after 11. You'll be home by midnight. And then tomorrow night or whatever it is, you'll have to be home by 11. But I also remember she lived, I mean, as I already said, we lived in a really tiny house when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. We lived in an even smaller house. She had a sister that was a year older than her, and they shared a bedroom like all through high school. Like they shared a room. And I can't remember if they also had a younger sister who was like significantly younger. I want to say maybe 6 years younger, possibly. I don't remember if the youngest one lived in her bedroom or not. We dated for pretty much 2 years. We dated my senior year of high school and then my freshman year of college. She was a year behind me, but we still did. So I don't think that you ever met her, but anyway, okay. I think I was in her bedroom at her house one time. Once. How many times did we hang out and watch a movie at her house or anything else? 0. We never once hung out at her house. Part of it was, I think she was maybe a little embarrassed. The other thing is that we wouldn't have had any place to just go and hang out anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that their house had a basement. I don't remember exactly, but even with all that, every single time I went to pick her up, you better come to the door no matter what, because you are not honking the horn.
No.
That was not going to happen. Same thing for you. Like every time you had to go up and knock on the door, right?
Absolutely. I mean, again, it goes back to, thank you to my parents for breeding me appropriately. That's not what you do. Not at all. You are always going to the door. You're always saying hello to the parents or whoever answers. And yeah, that's what you do. Now, the hard one for me was my junior year high school kind of serious girlfriend. And we broke up the summer after. Well, I guess. So there goes the story. I broke up because I had started working at the radio station. Like my world was changing. College is coming, and she was all about staying because she was from one of the bigger and more prominent families of the county. So that was the world, right? And so we broke up, and I am to this day that I ruined her senior pictures because she was so distraught. Because I think it was within 2 weeks we did senior photos, and I guess her pictures. Yeah.
2 weeks and you're still weepy?
She was, not me. I moved on.
Like,
so
still being sad, but I mean, pull it together. Go get your picture taken.
Oh, no.
All right.
Her mother worked in the cafeteria. Okay. So I had to deal with the cold, icy stare the entirety of my senior year. We'd go to lunch.
I hope you didn't buy any of the lunch because the lunch
Yes.
might be trying to
They're gonna-
poison you or something.
They're going to poison me. Oh, her mother was cold to me, and I kid you, I mean, just not even a hello, just not even what I would consider the appropriate adult response, where you could be mad, you could be upset, but just civil.
Sure.
Nope, nothing. Just stared, hard stares. I paid my money and keep going. It was just, it was that. And I remember my mother making a joke. She goes, I think we've been shunned in this county because of that. Because again, big families, cousins of cousins, and etc. And I remember my dad saying at one point he saw her father somewhere, and he had known him for 20 years because of work and business. Nope, barely said a word to him. So
wow. Do you know
I ruined this.
You know what happened, or do you know where she is now?
Last I knew, she was still in the county. She had went to VCU because she did want to go to pharmacy school.
Well, I mean, then you didn't lose out anything if she went to
and she became a pharmacist.
Okay.
I think last I know, she's still somewhere, maybe not in the county or the little villages we grew up, but somewhere, country girl, country boy kind of thing, still out there somewhere.
Signing prescriptions for fentanyl and killing people like all those
Probably. Yeah. We could bring her on and ask her.
But I don't think she's going to take your phone call. That's the problem.
She may not. I know her parents wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, I don't remember. Like, again, when my high school girlfriend and I broke up, it's because she went off to school to Virginia Tech.
Okay.
So again, I even at the time, like, it was a really mature relationship, like way more mature than we should have been. I mean, it was. I look back on it now, I'm like, how is this even possible? Because we had talked, like, again, I just finished my first year of college, and we had, made it through all that and everything, and then she's going off to Virginia Tech. We actually sat down like in July. It was like, okay, well, you're leaving for Tech in August, so what? Are we going to try to do this thing? Are we not going to? Like, we actually had the conversation of like, hey, you're going to be 4 hours away. I'm going to be here. Like, do we think we should try it? I can drive down there every once in a while. You'll be up here. We'd probably see each other at least once a month, if not more. And we both kind of talking it out. We're like, yeah, you know what? You need to go be in college and not like worried every time somebody asks you to go out to a party or whatever, that you're worried that you have to check in with. Like, we're not doing that. Like, so the last month we were just like, okay, well, we're still going to go out. We're still going to date. But the day you leave for Virginia Tech, that's it. And that's how we did it. And I mean, it's crazy. 2 18-year-olds were like, yeah, that makes sense.
We're good till this day.
Now,
no, I applaud you for that.
Well, thank you. Now, the only thing I'll say is her mom was pissed the day, like, she was leaving for Virginia Tech because the night before she told her mom that she was going to stay at a friend's house. My mom didn't care what I was. I mean, my parents were like, you're in college. You're an adult. You do what you want. So I was just like, hey, I'm not coming home tonight. And we went and got a hotel and stayed in the state because I had a friend. Do you remember Lisa or Lisa LeClaire? I'll throw her.
Yep.
Yeah. She was working for a travel agency at the time. She had graduated from college, was already working. So I was like, hey, I know normally you have to be 21. I'm still only 18. I
need to hook up for my hookup.
I guess it was 19 at this point. Yeah. And I was like, can you book a hotel room for me? She's like, yeah, no problem. So did it, the whole thing. And so, yeah. And so we got caught because I dropped her off at like 6 a.m. the next morning. We didn't think anybody would be awake.
Oops.
And her older sister was awake and saw her get out of my car. And this is the one time I didn't walk her up to the door. She was like, no, drop me off. And I even stopped like before their driveway and let her out. And her older sister saw her and ratted her out.
Oh,
that was bad. So yeah, her mom,
the siblings.
Her mom was livid and like threatened to be like, well, if you want to do that, you can just stay here. You don't have to go to Tech. You can just stay here. And so thankfully for all of us, she ended up going off to Tech and did all that kind of thing. But yeah, that's the only It's the only time I can think of. But that wasn't even over a breakup. That was just being stupid.
Well, that's why I said, I apologize.
I can a parent being like really pissed off at me about something that happened with their daughter.
Yeah.
Everybody else,
it's acceptable, right? That's what happens to youth and dating.
Right. And most of the time, quite honestly, most of the time, they were the ones breaking up with me. So they had no reason to be mad. Like, why are their parents going to be mad at me? I didn't cheat on any of them. I didn't do it. There was never anything.
It just wasn't working.
Yeah, exactly. You're just kind of like, you know what? We're going to go our separate. And that's probably why I'm still friends or friendly with all of them, because it was never like, you're a bitch or you're a dick. Why are you doing it? It was just kind of like, we need to break up because this isn't working. Neither one of us, we can't see 6 months from now this still being a thing. So why not just stop now? So,
And that's why I said I applaud you, because my senior year girlfriend, now this is where it gets funny to me, now that I think about it, okay? I go to George Mason in Fairfax.
Yep.
And she ends up at Mary Washington in Fredericksburg.
Not that far away.
Right? And neither one of us have a car, but it might as well been...
It is far away if you don't have a car.
Right? It might as well have been Virginia Tech or UCLA, right? That's how far it felt. Yeah. And I admit it, I was a dumb 70. I was a dick. I do stupid stuff. It happened, and I regret it. But what I find funny is we were literally less than 60 miles, 50 miles apart. But it just seemed so horrible and what was happening, and you couldn't get on the phone enough. And obviously, it's like you said, you're at college. You're supposed to be out and about. I was, she was, but it was just torment for whatever reason. Handled wrong. I would give different advice to my son. But I just laughed because we were literally 50, 60 miles apart. I mean, it was an Amtrak ride, right? It wasn't as if I won't see you for 6 months. No.
You weren't getting on an Amtrak. I don't even think, well, VRE was around.
Yes. Yeah. And Amtrak.
You weren't getting on the VRE. You weren't. First off, how are you going to get to the VRE with no car?
City University Exchange bus, which would take you to Dunloring Metro.
And then you have the Metro into Union Station, right?
Correct. No, you pick it up at Old Town at King Street because that was the Amtrak station.
Okay. So you'd have to change Metro lines then because the orange line did not run.
Yep.
You have to take the orange line to switch over to the blue line, which runs to King Street.
Correct.
And then get on the VRE and then drive it.
Get to Fredericksburg.
Another hour. So it would have been, I probably could have gotten to Virginia Tech just as fast. To be honest with you. By the time you did all that.
Yeah, but that's
time. Yeah.
The irony of, like I said, you felt like you were the world apart. You were literally 60 miles away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nowadays it would be nothing, right? An Uber would take you. You paid a freight, but you
Uber, yeah. I did the one time when and again, going back to we were friendly, she came home for a weekend, her first year at Virginia Tech, and I knew she was coming home, and we saw each other at like church the next day or whatever. When she was in, we didn't go out like that Saturday, but I was like, look, instead of you having to take the bus all the way back, I'll drive you back to Virginia Tech. I got nothing going on. I'll drive down. We'll hang out. We can do dinner when we get down there. I had friends at Tech. I was like, I'll go sleep at some of these, dorm room. I'll get up the next day and drive back home. No big deal. Well, we did that. We drove down, and then my buddy that I was going to stay at wasn't there for that weekend.
Oh no,
gone. And I was like, I got no place to stay. So I'm like, I told her, I said, I just need to crash for like 45 minutes. I need to take a quick hour nap, and then I'm going to get on the road and go home. So I drove in my 65 Mustang down and back Virginia Tech in a day.
Ugh.
It was, we got to Virginia Tech by the time we had lunch and, out of church, everything else. I got to Virginia Tech at 5:30. I turned around to drive back home around 6:30. And I think I pulled into my house at like 11. So it was a long day
because it's a long way down 81.
It is almost all the way down 81. And I don't know if anybody's ever ridden in a 65 Mustang. It is not the most comfortable vehicle to drive for 10 hours in one day. You have this chair that I'm in has the little, neck rest.
That's got more padding than it did.
More padding in this and more height.
I remember the Mustang.
Yeah, the seats went up to just below your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't even, like, if you were going to fall asleep, you couldn't because you just be like, and then snap back up because you're like, whoa, what happened? And no power steering, no power brakes, none of that. But I mean, back then, it's like I was parallel parking going up I-81. But yeah, that was the one and only. And I've done it since then. Like Mason played at Virginia Tech last year, and I drove down and back in the day. But that wasn't as bad because we were doing the game. So like you leave in the morning, then you do the game and everything else, and then you come back in the afternoon, later that evening. Didn't feel as bad, but that was down, walk her to the dorm room, hang out for like an hour, get a weird look from her roommate because her roommate was like, well, she was like, I thought you guys had broken up. And I was like, we are.
We're friends.
Yeah. And she was like,
let's be friends.
The roommate was like, why are you here? And I was like, I drove her back from Northern Virginia. She had to get back to school. And she was like, it's just weird. Like,
just weird.
And I was like, all right, well, sure. Whatever.
Well, again, looking back, Bill, what's popular now that you could have done then is car camping.
Yeah.
A lot of people sleep in their cars. You could have just curled up in that seat for the night.
But you know what? It was, I remember it was in October.
Okay.
So it was, football. It was a Sunday, so there's football on, and I remember driving back home, and all that car had, I think at that point,
was it AM?
AM radio. I don't think I'd switched it out yet, and so I found the Sunday night football game, or I found a football game that was on, and just that's what I listened to on the ride home.
From Westwood One CBS.
I don't remember if they were doing it back. If they were doing it back in the fall of 1990, then yes, that's what I was. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, that's what kept me busy, driving home the whole way. And I mean, it was. Again,
God bless you, because I remember the few times we went to Madison, and it felt like forever.
Oh, yeah, just
in general.
And that was easy. That was an hour and a half, less than 2 hours. You could get to JMU and back. We used to drive to JMU all the time.
Yeah.
And go down. So yeah, that was the other thing. Again, talking about all the like dating stuff. Like when you had friends that were at college, again, unless you were able to remember to get in touch with them before they went to college and be like, hey, I need your number when you get there, you weren't going to find your friends at other colleges. You'd have to call. No. I remember having to call the parents of my friends and be like, hey, can I get their number at wherever, North Carolina, the friend that was down there, JMU, Tech, whatever it was, which is why I didn't know that dude was not going to be at Tech that night, because I knew what dorm room he was in, but I didn't have his phone number. I was like, well, I'll just, when I get down there, I know what dorm he's in because I've gone by and visited him before. So I went to his dorm and knocked, and his roommate was like, nah, man, he went wherever for the weekend. I was like, oh, okay, well, just, hey, tell him I stopped by. And then like a week later, I get a phone call from my parents. I was like, hey, man, I heard you stopped by. I'm like, yeah, you weren't there. So I
you weren't there.
4.5 hours. So, yeah. But
you're right. Because, I mean, after I left, I really didn't keep track of most of the people I went to high school with.
Yeah.
There was one female because we'd had the on and off crush for years. She was part of the group that did not go to college, but they moved to Richmond. Right. And I remember having to call her parents to go, hey, what's her number at whatever apartments they're living in?
Right. And
having to call the apartment like, hey, you're going to be around this weekend? At least I did that. And yeah, come on down.
Right. So. Right. Well, that was, my sister was a senior in college when I was a freshman in college. And I never really went down to visit her when I was still in high school. I mean, we just didn't have a great, fantastic relationship where I was like, oh, I'm going to go to JMU and hang out with my sister. I didn't do that. But once she was down there as a senior and I was now in college as a freshman, I had friends that were at JMU. So then it was an easy, and a couple of girls I had huge crushes on were at JMU. So it was real easy to like tell my parents, hey, I'm going to go down and see Kim. Do you need me to take her or anything? Because she had her own, she was at townhouse with some other friends. Yeah, she was off campus. So I would go down and literally like drop my bags wherever. I was like, where are you going to have me stay? Am I sleeping on the floor? That's fine. Just show me what corner I'm in. And I would drop my bags and I'd be like, are you going to leave the door unlocked or do you guys have a spare key? Because I'm going out and I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not coming. It may be 3 a.m. So I can either come pounding on the door or you can give me a key or you can leave it unlocked. Your choice.
I had visions of you showing up, dumping whatever your parents said, like in front of the door with a note. Yeah. Mom and Dad sent this, pretty and much. You don't even see her the rest of the weekend.
I think I'm not kidding you. I think it's so bad. I think I went down there. I left Northern Virginia. Yeah, again, I was going to Mason. I was living at home still. I think I left the house on like a Friday. Like right after lunch, like maybe noon on a Friday. Because I was like, even back then, you're like, I want to beat traffic. I think I got to her place at like 2-ish, let's just say. I think I didn't see her again until like 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon when I went by and said, do you need me to take anything? Like, do you need me to take like laundry back? Like, what do you need me to take back? Because I was just like, I had too many friends down there. I was like, I'm just going to go stay with them. But I was like, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. I'm bringing whatever it was, I'm bringing it back. It was just a long, 48-hour like delivery service is all it was. I had a crush on this one girl. I found out where they were having their party. I went and hung out at her townhouse. And then I actually passed out the teak house down there at JMU on Saturday night. Friday night, I just basically crashed over at my the friend's house that I had this crush on. Nothing ever happened with her, but I got to hang out with her and her friends, which is way more better than hanging out with my sister and her friends. So, yeah. Now, when you were doing the phone calls, you had a younger sister. Did she ever listen in on any of these calls?
Yeah, I mean, we were 9 years apart. So
see, she's not interested when you're.
15. She was interested to be a pain in the butt versus interested about content, if you would.
Right.
Or like that was
goods on you or something. Yeah.
That was her role, was she just wanted to be a pain in the butt. And, God bless her. She was an independent person. She's wired like fierce, independent. And it was always, she should be doing what I was doing.
Right.
That was her mindset. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm 9. He's going out. Why aren't I going out? Or what's he talking? That was her mindset at the time. So I didn't quite have there was a few times like, Mom, can you get her off the other extension? And you'd hear my mother, Karen, don't, and click. Right. So.
No, your sister was cool. I mean, I can remember going down and she was probably 10, 11, 12 or whatever. But I mean, it was like, again, we weren't hanging out with her all weekend, but I just remember when she was there, she was, she's just a little sister.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she was always cool with us. I never had that thing. My sister's 3 years older than me. I was not interested like in her phone calls. I didn't, you know what it was? I didn't need to get dirt on her because one, she wasn't doing anything to get dirt on. So I mean, it wasn't like I could be like, oh, I'm going to listen in and see if I can find out something so I can rat her out because she wasn't. It was way more important for me to try to keep my stuff hidden than worrying about what anybody else was doing. And because we were 3 years apart, again, I only spent the 1 year in high school with her. And I knew she did theater all through high school. And whenever they needed like little kids or younger kids to be like bit parts, they would they would get the siblings. They would get the younger siblings of people that were so. When I was in like 6th grade, 7th grade, we'd go up and, so I knew all of her friends and a lot of them, she grew up playing softball with it. Of course, my dad helped coach the team. So I was around them all the time. So it was just kind of like, I don't need to be the obnoxious little brother trying to get the attention from the other girls. I already knew them.
Yeah.
So it was nothing. It was no big deal. So I was very thankful that I never had to, that I didn't have to have that thing of, okay, she's listening to my calls or I'm listening. Like we just didn't have that. We just didn't do that. Now, I was very, very aware because I saw a friend of mine get busted. I just remember 3-way calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you could call and then you'd be on 2 and be like, okay, I'm going to 3-way call. You had to pay for it. So not very many people had it.
Yeah, we didn't have it, but I knew it existed.
Yeah, and they would click over and then dial it. You didn't know that the other person
was on
already there. And I heard about my friend getting burned big time on that because these girls called him up and they were trying to be, do you like Tiffany? Do you? And he'd be like, no, I can't stand her. She smells funny, like whatever it was.
Oh,
and
dear.
It was all around school the next day. So mental note, you got to make sure that you don't say anything crazy about people. You got to figure, again, three-way calling is a thing. It exists, and you just got to make sure that it's not there. You know?
Mindful of what you say.
Yes. There were some times when, like, if I wasn't sure, like, you know, whenever you got that call from somebody who, like, didn't call you that often,
yeah,
I'd always be like, Spidey sense is tingling. I don't trust this. So the way to make sure that they weren't on the three-way call was to say, let me call you back. And you hang up, and they've got to now answer. And I don't think you could click in without me then knowing, if I remember how it worked. If I called them back, they've got to go on their call waiting. And now the only way that they can click that other person back in is to then disconnect and come back, and you could hear it. So then you would know, oh, they're putting somebody else on the line. So I think that's right. I may have had that wrong, but I never got burned by it. So I don't know.
Such old technology, I can't remember.
I know. It's crazy. Again, kids don't understand what it was like to have to call and ask for the girl you want to ask out, walk up to the door
or just
and knock on it. There's no texting to be like, I'm here, come outside. Like that's nope. None of that. But they also have it worse because everybody can film stuff that goes on at the parties that you don't want being filmed or taken pictures of or anything else. So I am very thankful that there's not a lot of evidence out there of the stuff that we were doing when I was in high school and college.
Yeah, I mean, I've told my son and stepkids that, you know, it feels funny because that's the world you're growing up in of recording. And I was like, you don't want records of certain things.
Nope.
And I've showed the stories where kids got busted for serious crimes because they recorded it and they were able to find it later. And there's the proof. You shot yourself in the foot.
Right. They're like, look at this. How clear this is. Yeah, I can see your face and your face and your face. Yeah, you're all going to jail. I know there's a bunch of other, not a bunch of other stuff, but there's some significant things that happen on this date that are Gen X connected. So why don't we hit those before we get out of here? Because we've talked a long time about our former girlfriends and phone calls and everything else. So what do you got?
Right in the wheelhouse. I mean, 1984. Okay. This, it came out today. Prince's album Purple Rain followed 30 days later by the movie. I mean, I wanted to talk about because it's historical significance. Like, it wasn't just a good album. It was one of the few times, if you go back in history, where there's an album with a movie that just combined everything at that time in our lives, right? Because you're getting the music side and you're getting the movie side of it and the culture from it. Because, there were some people wanting to dress up like Prince, but, because there's only been a few other, if you think about it, it's like The Wall with Pink Floyd, Hard Day's Night, right? There's only been a few where the album and the movie have just been so synchronized and made such a cultural difference, for us. And especially, like I said, 84, that was right in the heart of us growing up, teenage music, MTV. Yeah. But 42 years ago, that was the hard one for me, like 42 years ago.
Yeah. So here's the Prince's song from that track.
Yeah.
Let's Go Crazy was on there.
Yep.
Darling Nikki.
Yep.
When Doves Cry.
Yep.
I Would Die for You.
You.
And Purple Rain.
And Take Me With You.
Take Me
That's
With
the
You.
other one I remember, yeah.
The beautiful ones, Computer Blue. But those 6, I guess, if you do Take Me With You.
Your big hits. Yeah.
Bangers.
Yes.
Bangers. Up and down. And also Purple Rain also introduced us to Morris Day and the Time.
Yes.
Jungle Love, right? Was it
that
Purple Rain? Yeah.
Yes, because he was the nemesis or the antagonist of the movie, for those of you so inclined to understand literacy. Yeah. Jerome.
Yeah.
And what was her name? Apollonia.
Yep. Apollonia was in it as well. Yeah, you had Jungle Love, you had The Bird from the time.
The Bird, then, that was the one I was trying to remember.
Apollonia did Sex Shooter. So I mean, there was that whole album was
bad. Yeah, I mean, it's whether you want to call it 5 hits, 6 hits. I mean, that's a rarity in itself for a lot of just albums. But now you have the movie going with it.
Yep.
And then that goes to the whole thing of, Prince was a musician. He was, you could truly say he was an artist because it wasn't just music. He was into the visuals and so many different things that beyond just, I can play guitar. I can just sing.
He played everything.
Yeah.
He did all of it. Yeah. No, I mean, forget it. Prince, I'll make this argument because I know it's also going to come up with this next thing that you have. The argument we could or discussion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Prince or the guy who died, was it 17 years
ago? 17 years ago. Michael Jackson, everyone.
Who's
today.
More talented?
I don't think that's an argument you can make. And the way I look at it as two different worldwide superstars,
okay,
with two different tracks.
Okay.
Right? Michael was a singer with his brothers, and Michael did have some, like, he did the Thriller album, right? He wrote it and thought about it, and so he definitely had that artistic side. But I see Michael was more of a singer-performer, and Prince was this, I'm not sure, like I said, he could play guitar and all these other instruments, and he could sing, but he was in a different mindset level of artistry, right? That's why he changed his name to Squiggle and all the things he did, right? He was just that kind of off the cuff, let's try something. So the artistry got them both essentially to the same place. They were just coming from two different locations, two different pathways to get there. I know they said that, they looked at each other. The thing I saw was more as interested rivals, and not that one thought one was better than the other. They were just coming at their end goals from two different situations, and it just, they weren't friends. They just kind of respected each other from a distance, is everything I read, and existed at the same time as two of the biggest names, at least for Gen X, musical performers. But yeah, I mean, Michael, that was 17 years ago. He was 8, and he was 50 years old. So imagine, tragedy had not striked. I mean, he would be 60, he'd be getting up there. And what would his career look like? And the same thing with Prince. Like, what does it look like now in the music world? What's going on? What we see differently? How do they exist at this point? And do they exist at the same level?
Yeah, I mean, that is... I understand your point. And I look at, like, I'm looking at the Purple Rain thing now, and they break down the musicians that were on the album, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what Prince did on the album: lead vocals, spoken vocals, backing vocals, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, bass, Yamaha CP80. I'm assuming that's a synthesizer.
Yeah.
And it lists a bunch of other programming tracks, a Lin LM1, whatever that is, Lin drum track, Simmons SDSV, electronic drums, tambourine, percussion. So, I mean, again, you go on and on and on. You're like, he basically played everything.
Yeah.
Like, he knew how to do all of that stuff. I don't know that Michael Jackson was pretty good at arranging things.
Yes.
I don't know that he was as good a musician.
Correct. Yeah, because I'm not aware of Michael being overly a musician of any sort. Like, I don't recall, like, Michael played keyboard, or he was just the singer and a performer.
Well, I think he did. I think he could play some things, but not to the level of Prince.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Prince was on a whole different level as a musician.
Yeah,
I mean, because I wouldn't say that Prince had the greatest voice. It just worked for what he was doing.
Yeah.
Whereas Michael, if you go back and look at some of the footage from This Is It and everything, he could sing, right? The voice was spectacular in how he could sing, but he was not a musician. And so that's why I said that, coming from two different angles to reach the worldwide superstardom that they both did at the same time is just, amazing to me.
I mean, I guess, again, it's wiki, so take this for what it is. They list instrument under Michael Jackson just as vocals. And that's it. That's it. I mean, and for Prince, it says vocals, guitar, keyboards, bass, drums. Like he basically did everything. They were the same age too, because Prince died 10 years ago this year, and he would be 67. He died at age 50.
Wow.
Or he died at 57. Michael died at age 50, and they died 7 years apart. So they both would be 67. But
amazing.
I just I mean to have them be there at the same time and in the same genre. I mean, they're both pop guys.
Yes.
So pretty crazy. But yeah, as you mentioned, Michael Jackson, 7 years. I can't believe it's been 17 years.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, when I saw that, it kind of threw me. I was like, has it really been? Because it said, 2009. I was thinking 2015, right? I've just lost track of these things. I was like, geez, 2009. That's, mind-boggling to me that it's been that long.
Yeah. No, it's crazy to think that. And again, Prince, 10 years. I wouldn't have, if somebody had asked, I don't know, I would have come up with 10 years. I wouldn't know if I would have felt that it was that long ago, but again, he's one of those guys, we joked around with it about your ex writing prescriptions for fentanyl. But he's one of those guys. I mean, him and Tom Petty both from, taking drugs and overdosing on fentanyl. They just got bad drugs from people. So,
yeah. And then if you, look historically, from Elvis and there's always artist or tormented trouble people.
Yep.
And I believe that. You get in some of the famous painters, right? Whatever makes their creative that wonderful, I think also wreaks havoc on just their normal self-being and whatever they escape with, alcohol, drugs that are available. It's probably a textbook thing if you talk to someone who knows psychology. The more creative types, they're a little bit off key and they can do these things, and that's what happens.
It's also interesting because, again, comparing the two, I don't know, and admittedly, I should probably look into this more, but before I make this statement, I don't know that Michael was writing stuff for other people like
Correct.
Prince did. Prince wrote a ton for other people.
And supposedly there's still a lot of music and just things in the archives up at Paisley Place. Yeah. Because he was a prolific creator of the art, if you will.
Yeah. But he wrote a ton for other people. That's the old joke is that he would write songs for all these, either female singers or female bands, because he'd be like, well, you could come over and I got a song for you. And then, he hit on them and he's of course it's going to work. He didn't have to worry about, calling and having the dad answer the phone. That wasn't going to be a worry. He was Prince.
Right.
But I know he wrote he wrote Manic Monday for the Bangles.
Mm-hmm.
That was his thing. He did write so much for other people. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Michael
Sinead O'Connor. What was that song? Nothing Compares to You.
Nothing Compares to You. Did he do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's wild.
Yes.
How, again, incredibly, ridiculously talented he was.
Yeah. But he didn't want to do We Are the World. Didn't feel it was right for him. Which I kind of, as I sit here, I'm like, I don't think he would have fit it. I could see that.
Yeah, here you go. Here's some of the ones. So he wrote Manic Monday for the Bangles. I Feel For You, which was covered by Shaka Khan. I did not know that one.
No, I didn't either.
Oh, Nothing Compares to You. Let's see. He also gave Celine Dion a song, and he wrote You for Paula Abdul's Spellbound album. I don't remember that one, but yeah, that's just a part of it. So yeah, just prolific.
Yes.
Crazy. Anyway.
And we'll always have him playing the guitar in the rain at the Super Bowl. So
there you go. Didn't Michael Jackson do a Super Bowl as well?
Yes, he did. He did, I think, 83.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was 83.
It was before Thriller?
Or maybe I'm wrong. 84.
Let me see. I don't.
Or 93. Maybe I'm thinking 93.
I think maybe I don't know that they were doing rock stars back in.
It must have been 93.
Let me see. Michael Jackson at Super Bowl. 1993. Well done.
93.
Good.
Well, no, I said 83 first, but 93.
83 first. Yeah, at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
He
but,
did a 13-minute medley of his greatest hits.
And what year did Prince do his? That I can't remember.
That was I think that was well after.
2000s?
Was 2007.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 14 years. 14 years. So
Michael got there first.
That was it. That was in Miami. So
yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, big day, June 25th. Pick a year, and again, for us Gen Xers, the loss of Michael and the release of Purple Rain. I mean, it's just two iconic things happening on the same day.
Pretty well, especially again, two guys that were connected as much as they were, as far as, like you said, not necessarily rivals, but I think I don't know if there are people that would say, "Oh, I'm a Michael guy" or "I'm a Prince guy." I don't think it was that kind of thing, but maybe could have been if they.
There may have been somebody. It wasn't me because, like I said, they're just two different performers.
Right.
Musical styles are different.
Right. Yeah. Right. There you go. All right. Any parting thoughts before we get out of here?
Hey, as Michael said, don't stop till you get enough.
This concludes this episode of Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhite. Gen X Men is now off the air.